Act 1 of the Basset-Table by Susanna Centlivre. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Dramatis Personae.
Lord Worthy in love with Lady Reveller, a hater of gaming. Read by Greg Giordano.
Sir James Courtly, an airy gentleman given to gaming. Read by Todd.
Lovely, an ensign in love with Valeria. Read by Rick Cordray.
Sir Richard Plainman, formerly a citizen, but now lives in Covent-Garden, a great lover of a soldier, and an inveterate enemy to the French. Read by Larry Wilson.
Captain Firebrand, a sea officer, designed by Sir Richard to marry Valeria. Read by Adrian Stephens.
Sago, a drugster in the city, very fond of his wife. Read by
Buckle, footman to Lord Worthy. Read by Michael Faze.
Lady Reveller, a coquetish widow that keeps a basset-table. Read by Valroth.
Lady Lucy, her cousin, a religious, sober lady. Read by M. Lee.
Valeria, a philosophical girl, daughter to Sir Richard, in love with Lovely. Read by Jenn Broda.
Mrs. Sago, the drugster's wife, a gaming profuse woman, great with my Lady Reveller, in love with Sir James. Read by
SoniaAlpiew,
woman to Lady Reveller.
Read by Nova Silva.
1st Footman. Read by Agnes Robert Behr.
2nd Footman. Read by Lorda.
3rd Footman. Read by Redrun.
4th Footman. Read by Jim Locke.
5th Footman. Read by David Purdy.
Banker. Read by Alan Mapstone. Footman. Read by Alan Mapstone.
Officers. Read by Elijah Fisher.
Porter. Read by Stacey M.
Servant. Read by Agnes Robert Behr.
Sharper. Read by Redrun.
Stranger. Read by David Purdy.
Stage Directions read by Inkel. Scene: Lady Reveller's lodgings in Covent-Garden. The time 4:00 in the morning. The Prologue.
In all the faces that to plays resort, whether of country, city, mob, or court, I've always found that none such hopes inspire as you, dear brethren of the upper tier. Poets, in prologues, may both preach and rail, yet all their wisdom nothing will avail. Who writes not up to you, 'tis 10 to 1 will fail. Your thundering plaudit is that deals out fame. You make plays run, though oft themselves but lame. How often have we known your noise commanding impose on your inferior master's understanding? Therefore, dear brethren, since I am one of you, whether adorned in gray, green, brown, or blue, this day stand all by me, as I will fall by you. And now to let the pulpit see how Pinky's voice commands. Silence! Now rattle all your sticks and clap your grimy hands. I greet your love, and let the vainest author show half this command on cleaner hands below. Nay, more to prove your interest, to let this play live by you. So may you share good claret with your masters, still free in your moors from their disasters. Free from poor housekeeping, where peck is under locks. Free from cold kitchens, and no Christmas box. So may no long debates in the House of Commons make you in the lobby starve when hunger summons. But may your plenteous veils come flowing in, give you a lucky hit, and make you gentlemen. And thus preferred, ne'er fear the world's reproaches, but shake your elbows with my lord, and keep your coaches.
The Basset-Table. Act 1. Scene: a large hall, a porter with a staff, several chairs waiting, and footmen asleep, with torches and flambeaux standing about the room.
Certainly they'll play all night. This is a cursed life.
How long have you lived with your lady?
A month. Too long by 30 days if this be her way of living. I shall be dead before the year's out. She games all night and sleeps all day.
Then you sleep too. What's the matter?
I deny that. For while she sleeps, I'm employed in how-do-ye's from one end of the town to the other.
But you rest while she's gaming. What would you do if you led my life? This is my lady's constant practice.
Your lady keeps a basset-table. Much good may do you with your service. Hark, they are broke up.
Lady Reveller, within.
Hi! My Lady Gamewell's chair ready there. Mr. Sonica's servant.
The footmen wake in a hurry.
Where the devil is my flambeau?
So hey, Robin, get the chair ready. My lady's coming. Stay, let me light my flambeaus.
Hey, what, hadn't they done play yet?
They are now coming down, but your lady is gone half an hour ago.
The devil she is. Why did you not call me?
I did not see you.
Was you blind? She has lost her money, that's certain. She never flinches upon a winning hand. Her plate and jewels walk tomorrow to replenish her pocket. A pox of gaming, I say.
Exit. Lady Reveller, within.
Mr. Lose-All's man.
Here, so, who has stole my flambeau?
My Lady Umbre's coach there.
Hey, Will, pull up there.
Exeunt omnes. Enter Lady Reveller and Alpiew, her woman.
My Lady Raffle is horridly out of humour at her ill fortune. She lost £300.
She generally has ill luck. Yet her inclination for play is as strong as ever. Did your ladyship win or lose, madam?
I won 50 pieces. Prithee, what shall we do, Alpiew? 'Tis a fine morning. 'Tis a pity to go to bed.
What does your ladyship think of a walk in the park? The park is pleasant in the morning. The air is so very sweet.
I don't think so. The sweetness of the park is at 11, when the beau monde make their tour there. 'Tis an unpolished curiosity to walk when only birds can see one.
Bless me, madam, your uncle. Now for a sermon of 2 hours.
Enter Sir Richard Plainman, in a nightgown as from bed.
So, niece, I find you're resolved to keep on your course of life. I must be waked at 4, with chair. Give over for shame, and marry, niece.
Lady Reveller, aside.
Now would I forfeit the heart of my next admirer to know the cause of this reproach? Pray, uncle, explain yourself, for I protest I can't guess what crime I have unhappily committed to merit this advice.
How can you look me in the face and ask me that question? Can you that keep a Basset-Table, a public gaming house, be insensible to the shame on't? I have often told you how much the vast concourse of people which day and night make my house their rendezvous incommode my health. Your apartment is a parade of men of all ranks, from the duke to the fiddler, and your vanity thinks they all pay devoir to your beauty. But you mistake. Every one has his several ends in meeting here, from the lord to the sharper, and each their separate interests to pursue. Some fools there may be, for there's seldom a crowd without.
Malice! Some fools! I can't bear it!
Nay, 'tis very affronting, truly, madam.
Ah, is it not, Alpiew? Yet, now I think on it, 'tis the defect of age to rail at the pleasures of youth. Therefore, I shall not disorder my face with a frown about it. Oh, I hope, uncle, you're taking particular care of my cousin Valeria, in disposing of her according to the breeding you have given her.
The breeding I have given her? I would not have her have your breeding mistress for all the wealth of England's bank. No, I bred my girl in the country, a stranger to the vices of this town, and am resolved to marry her to a man of honour, probity, and courage.
What, the sea captain, uncle? I hate the smell of pitch and tar. One that can entertain with nothing but fire and smoke, larboard and starboard, and t'other bowl of punch.
And for every fault that he commits, he'll condemn her to the bilboes. Ha ha!
I fancy my cousin's philosophy, and the captain's courageous bluster will make angelic harmony.
Yes, madam, sweeter harmony than your sept and leva fops, rakes, and gamesters. Give me the man that serves my country, that preserves both my estate and life. Oh, the glorious name of a soldier! If I were young, I'd go myself in person. But as it is...
You'll send your daughter.
Yes, minx, and a good dowry with her, as a reward for virtue, like the captain's.
But suppose, sir, Miss Valeria should not like him.
I'll suppose no such thing, mistress. She shall like him.
Why, there 'tis now, indeed, uncle. You're too positive.
And you too impertinent. Therefore I resolve you shall quit my house. You shan't keep your revels under the roof where I am.
I'd have you know, sir, my lady keeps no revels beneath her quality.
Hold your tongue, Mrs. Pert, or I shall display your quality in its proper colours.
I don't care. Say your worst of me, and spare not. But for my lady's a widow, and widows are accountable to none for their actions. Well, I shall have a husband one of these days, and be a widow too, I hope.
Not unlikely, for the man will hang himself the next day, I warrant him.
And if any uncle pretends to control my actions...
He'd lose his labour, I'm certain.
I'd treat him.
Don't provoke me, hussy, don't.
Begone, and wait in the next room.
Exit Alpiew.
The insolence of a servant is a great honour to the lady, no doubt, but I shall find a way to humble you both.
Look'ee, uncle, do what you can. I'm resolved to follow my own inclinations.
Which infallibly carry you to noise, nonsense, foppery, and ruin. But no matter, you shall go out of my doors, I'll promise you. My house shall no longer bear the scandalous name of a Basset-Table. Husbands shall no more have cause to date their ruin from my door, nor cry, There, my wife gamed my estate away, nor children curse my posterity, for their parents knowing my house.
No more threatening, good uncle. Act as you please, but don't scold, or I shall be obliged to call old Pew again.
Very well. Very well. See what will come on it. The world will censure those that game, and in my conscience I believe not without cause. For she whose shame no good advice can wake, when money's wanting will her virtue stake.
Exit.
Advice? Ridiculous advice.
Enter Lady Lucy. Lady Reveller, aside.
No sooner rid of one mischief, but another follows. I foresee this to be a day of mortification. Alpiew.
Enter Alpiew.
Madam.
My uncle's gone. You may come in.
Fie, cousin, does it become you to laugh at those that give you counsel for your good?
For my good? Oh, mon coeur. Now can I not divine what 'tis I do more than the rest of the world to deserve this blame?
Nor I for the soul of me.
Should all the rest of the world follow your ladyship's example, the order of nature would be inverted, and every good designed by heaven become a curse. Health and plenty no longer would be known among us. You cross the purpose of the day and night. You wake when you should sleep, and make all who have any dependence on you wake while you repose.
Bless me! May not any person sleep when they please?
No, there are certain hours that good manners, modesty, and health require your care. For example, disorderly hours are neither helpful nor modest, and 'tis not civil to make company wait dinner for your dressing.
Why does anybody dine before 4 o'clock in London? For my part, I think it an ill-bred custom to make my appetite pendulum to the 12th hour.
Besides, 'tis out of fashion to dine in daylight, and so I told Sir Richard yesterday, madam.
No doubt but you did, Mrs. Alpiew, and then you entertained such a train of people, cousin, that my Lady Reveller is as noted as a public ordinary, where every fool with money finds a welcome.
Would you have me shut my doors against my friends?
Aside.
Now she is jealous of Sir James Courtly. Besides, is it possible to pass the evenings without diversions?
No, certainly.
I think the playhouse the much more innocent and commendable diversion.
To be seen there every night, in my opinion, is more destructive to the reputation.
Well, I had rather be noted every night in the front box than by my absence once be suspected of gaming. One ruins my estate and character, the other diverts my temper and improves my mind. Then you have such a number of lovers.
Oh, Cupid! Is it a crime to have a number of lovers? If it be, 'tis the pleasantest crime in the world. A crime that falls not every day to every woman's lot.
I dare be positive every woman does not wish it.
Because wishes have no effect, cousin.
Methinks my Lord Worthy's assiduity might have banished the admiring crowd by this time.
Banish him? Oh, mon coeur! What pleasure is there in one lover? 'Tis like being seen always in one suit of clothes. A woman with one admirer will ne'er be the reigning toast.
I am sure those that encourage more will never have the character of a reigning virtue.
I slight the malicious censure of the town, yet defy it to asperse my virtue. Nature has given me face, a shape, a mien, an air for dress, and wit and humour to subdue. And shall I lose my conquest for a name?
Nay, and among the unfashionable sort of people too, madam. For persons of breeding and quality will allow that gallantry and virtue are not inseparable.
But coquetry and reputation are, and there is no difference in the eye of the world between having really committed the fault and lying under the scandal. For my own part, I would take as much care to preserve my fame as you would your virtue.
A little pains will serve you for that, cousin, for I never heard you named. A mortification would break my heart.
'Tis better never to be named than to be ill spoken of. But your reflections shall not disorder my temper. I could wish, indeed, to convince you of your error because you share my blood. But since I see the vanity of the attempt, I shall desist.
I humbly thank your ladyship.
Oh, madam, here's my Lord Worthy, Sir James Courtly, and Ensign Lovely coming down. Will your ladyship see them?
Now, have I a strong inclination to engage Sir James to discompose her gravity? For if I have any skill in glances, she loves him. But then my Lord Worthy is so peevish since our late quarrel that I'm afraid to engage the knight in a duel. Besides, my absence I know will tease him more. Therefore, upon consideration, I'll retire. Cousin Lucy, good morrow. I'll leave you to better company. There's a person at hand may prevent your 6 o'clock prayers.
Exit.
Ha! Sir James Courtly. I must own I think him agreeable, but am sorry she believes I do. I'll not be seen, for if what I scarce know myself be grown so visible to her, perhaps he too may discover it, and then I am lost. While in the breast our secrets close remain, 'tis out of fortune's power to give us pain.
Exit. Enter Lord Worthy, Sir James, and Ensign Lovely.
Ah, was not that Lady Lucy?
It was. Ah, Sir James, I find your heart is out of order about that lady, and my Lord Worthy languishes for Lady Reveller.
And thou art sick for Valeria, Sir Richard's daughter. A poor distressed company of us.
'Tis true. That little she-philosopher has made me do penance more heartily than ever my sins did. I deserve her by mere dint of patience. I have stood whole hours to hear her assert that fire cannot burn, nor water drown, nor pain afflict, and 40 ridiculous systems.
And all her experiments on frogs, fish, and flies, without the least contradiction.
Contradiction? No, no. I allowed all she said, with undoubtedly, madam. I am of your mind, madam. It must be so. Natural causes, etc.
I think it is a supernatural cause, which enables thee to go through this fatigue. If it were not to raise thy fortune, I should think thee mad to pursue her. But go on and prosper. Nothing in my power shall be wanting to assist you. My Lord Worthy, your lordship is as melancholy as a losing gamester.
Faith, gentlemen, I'm out of humour, but I don't know at what.
Why, then, I can tell you. For the very same reason that made your lordship stay here to be spectator of the very diversion you hate, gaming, the same cause makes you uneasy in all company, my Lady Reveller.
Thou hast hit it, Sir James. I confess I love her person, but hate her humours, and her way of living. I have some reasons to believe I'm not indifferent to her, yet I despair of fixing her. Her vanity has got so much the mistress of her resolution, and yet her passion for gain surmounts her pride, and lays her reputation open to the world. Every fool that has ready money shall dare to boast himself her very humble servant. 'Sdeath, when I could cut the rascal's throat.
Your lordship is even with her one way, for you are as testy as she's vain, and as fond of an opportunity to quarrel with her as she of a gaming acquaintance. My opinion is, my lord, she'll never be won your way. To gain all women there's a certain rule, if wit should fail to please, then act the fool, and where you find simplicity not take, throw off disguises, and profess the rake. Observe which way their strongest humours run, there by their own loved cant the surest way undone.
The heart of a happy temper, Sir James. I wish I could be so too. But since I can't add to your diversion, I'll take my leave. Good morrow, gentlemen.
Exit.
This it is to have more love than reason about one. You and I, Lovely, will go on with discretion, and yet I fear it's in Lady Lucy's power to banish it.
I find Mrs. Sago, the drugster's wife's, interests begins to shake, Sir James.
And I fear her love for play begins to shake her husband's bags, too. Faith, I am weary of that intrigue, lest I should be suspected to have a hand in his ruin.
She did not lose much tonight, I believe. Prithee, Sir James, what kind of tempered woman is she? Has she wit?
That she has, a large portion, and as much cunning, or she could never have managed the old fellow so nicely. She has a vast passion for my Lady Reveller, and endeavours to mimic her in everything. Not a suit of clothes, or a top-knot, that is not exactly the same as hers. Then her plots and contrivances to supply these expenses put her continually upon the rack. Yet, to give her due, she has a fertile brain that way. But, come, shall we go home and sleep 2 or 3 hours? At dinner I'll introduce you to Captain Firebrand, the sea officer. Your rival it is to be. He's just come to town.
A powerful rival, I fear, for Sir Richard resolves to marry him to his daughter. All my hopes lie in her arguments, and you know philosophers are very positive. If this captain does but happen to contradict one whimsical notion, the Poles will as soon join as they couple, and rather than yield, she would go to the Indies in search of Dampier's aunts.
Nay, she is no woman if she obeys. Woman, like tide, with passions ebb and flow, and like them too, their source no man can know. To watch their motions is the safest guide. Who hits their humour sails with wind and tide.
Exit. End of Act 1. Act 2 of the Basset-Table by Susanna Centlivre. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2. Enter Buckle, meeting Mrs. Alpiew.
Good morrow.
Good morrow.
Good morrow. Good morrow. Is that all your business here? What means that affected look, as if you longed to be examined? What's the matter?
The capricios of love, mademoiselle. The capricios of love.
Why, are you in love?
I. In love? No. The devil take me if ever I shall be infected with that madness. 'Tis enough for one in a family to fall under the whimsical circumstances of that distemper. My lord has sufficient portion for both. Here? Here's a letter for your lady. I believe the contents are not so full of stars and darts and flames as they used to be.
My lady will not concern herself with your lord, nor his letters neither. I can assure you that.
So much the better. I'll tell him what you say. Have you no more?
Tell him it is not my fault. I have done as much for his service as lay in my power, till I put her in so great a passion that 'tis impossible to appease her.
Very good. My lord is upon the square, I promise ye, as much enraged as her ladyship to the full. Well, Mrs. Alpiew, to the longest day of his life he swears never to forget yesterday's adventure. That has given him perfect liberty.
I believe so. What was it, pray?
I'll tell you. 'Twas a matter of consequence. I assure you I've known lovers part for a less trifle by half.
No digressions, but to the point. What was it?
This. My lord was at the fair with your lady.
What of that?
In a raffling shop, she saw a young gentleman, which she said was very handsome. At the same time, my lord praised a young lady. She redoubles her commendations of the bow. He enlarges on the beauty of the bell. Their discourse grew warm on the subject. They pause. She begins again with the perfections of the gentleman. He ends with the fame of the lady. Thus they pursued their arguments, still finding such mighty charms in their new favorites, till they found one another so ugly, that they parted with full resolution never to meet again.
Ha ha ha. Pleasant. Well, if you have no more to tell me, adieu.
Stay a moment. I see my lord coming. I thought he'd follow me. Oh, lovers' resolutions.
Enter Lord Worthy. Lord Worthy to Buckle.
So, have you seen my Lady Reveller?
My lord.
Ha, Mrs. Alpiew.
Buckle gives him his own letter.
Here's your lordship's letter.
An answer. She has done me very much honour.
My lord, I am commanded.
Hold a little, dear Mrs. Alpiew.
All this while he is opening the letter, thinking it from the lady.
My lord, she would not...
Be quiet, I say.
I am very sorry.
But a moment. Ha! Why, this is my own letter.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord? What? She not receive it, then?
No, my lord.
How durst you stay so long?
I beg your lordship not to harbour an ill opinion of me. I opposed her anger with my utmost skill, praised all your actions, all your parts, but all in vain.
Enough, madam. She has taken the best method in the world. Well, then we are ne'er to meet again.
I know not that, my lord.
I rejoice at it. By my life, I do. She has only prevented me. I come on purpose to break with her.
Buckle, aside.
Yes, for 'twas a sign by the pleasure you discovered in thinking she had writ to you.
I suppose she has entertained you with the cause of this?
No, my lord, never mentioned a syllable. Only said she had forever done with you, and charged me, as I valued her favour, to receive no message nor letter from you.
May I become the very wretched alive, and all the ills imaginable fall upon my head, if I speak to her more. Nay, ever think of her but with scorn. Where is she now?
Walks about.
In her dressing room.
There let her be. I am weary of her fantastic humours, affected airs, and unaccountable passions.
Buckle, aside.
For half an hour.
Do you know what she's doing?
I believe, my lord, trying on a mantua. I left her with Mrs. Fleetwell, and that used to hold her a great while, for the woman is saucily familiar with all the quality, and tells her all the scandal.
And conveys letters upon occasion. 'Tis tact to their profession. But my Lady Reveller may do what she pleases. I am no more her slave, upon my word. I have broke my chain. She has not been out, then, since she rose?
No, my lord.
Nay, if she has, or has not, 'tis the same thing to me. She may go to the end of the world, if she will. I shan't take any pains to follow her. Whose footman was that I met?
I know not, my lord. We have so many come with how do ye's, I never mind them.
You are uneasy, child. Come, I'll not detain you. I have no curiosity. I protest. I'm satisfied if she's so. I assure you. Let her despise me. Let her hate me. 'Tis all one. Adieu.
Going.
My lord, your servant.
Mrs. Alpiew, let me beg one favour of you.
Turns back.
Not to say I was here.
I'll do just as you please, my lord.
Do that, then, and you'll oblige me.
Is going, and comes back often.
I will.
Don't forget.
Your lordship may depend upon me.
Hold. Now I think on it. Pray, tell her you did see me. Do you hear?
With all my heart.
Tell her how indifferent she is to me in every respect.
I shan't fail.
Tell her everything just as I expressed it to you.
I will.
Adieu.
Going.
Your servant.
Now I think on it, Mrs. Alpiew, I have a great mind she should know my sentiments from my own mouth.
Nay, my lord, I can't promise you that.
Why?
Because she has expressly forbid your admittance.
I'd speak but one word with her.
Impossible.
Phew, prithee, let me see her.
So now all this mighty rage ends in a begging submission.
Only tell her I am here.
Why should you desire to meet her anger, my lord?
Come, you shall oblige me once.
Puts a ring upon her finger.
Oh dear, my lord. You have such a command over your servants. I can refuse nothing.
Exit.
Have you been at the goldsmith's about the bills? For I am fixed on travelling.
Your lordship's so disturbed, you have forgot you countermanded me, and sent me hither.
True.
Enter Mrs. Alpiew.
Just as I told your lordship. She fell in a most violent passion at the bare mention of your name. Tell him, said she, in an heroic strain, I'll never see him more, and commanded him to quit that room, for I'm coming thither.
Tyrant! Curse on my folly! She knows her power. Well, I hope I may walk in the gallery. I would speak with her uncle.
To be sure, my lord.
Exit Lord Worthy.
Learn, mistress, learn. You may come to make me mad in time. Ha, ha, ha.
Go, fool. Follow your lord.
Exit Buckle. Enter Lady Reveller.
Well, I'll swear, Alpiew, you have given me the vapours for all day.
Ah, madam, if you had seen him, you must have had compassion. I would not have such a heart of adamant for the world. Poor lord. Sure you have the strangest power over him.
Silly. One often fancies one has power when one has none at all. I'll tell thee, Alpiew, he vexed me strangely before this grand quarrel. I was at piquet with my Lady Lovewit 4 nights ago, and bid him read me a new copy of verses, because, you know, he never plays, and I did not well know what to do with him. He had scarce begun when I, being eager at a pique, he rose up and said he believed I loved the music of my own voice, crying 9 23 score, better than the sweetest poetry of the universe, and abruptly left us.
A great crime indeed not to read. When people are at a game, they are obliged to talk all the while.
Crime, yes, indeed it was, for my lady loves poetry better than play, and perhaps before the poem had been done had lost her money to me. But I wonder, Alpiew, by what art 'tis you engage me in this discourse? Why should I talk to a man that's utterly my aversion? Have you heard from Mrs. Sago this morning?
Certainly, madam. She never fails. She has sent your ladyship the finest cargo, made up of chocolate, tea, Montefiasco wine, and 50 rarities beside. With something to remember me, good creature. That she never forgets. Well, indeed, madam. She is the best-natured woman in the world. It grieves me to think what sums she loses at play.
Oh, fie! She must. A citizen's wife is not to be endured amongst quality. Had she not had money, 'twere impossible to receive her.
Nay, indeed. I must say that of you women of quality. If there is but money enough, you stand not upon birth or reputation in either sex. If you did, so many sharpers of Covent-Garden and mistresses of St. James would not be daily admitted.
Peace! Impertinence! You take strange freedoms.
Enter Valeria, running.
Why in such haste, Cousin Valeria?
Stopping her.
Oh, dear cousin, don't stop me. I shall lose the finest insect for dissection, a huge flesh fly, which Mr. Lovely sent me just now, and opening the box to try the experiment, away it flew.
I am glad the poor fly escaped. Will you never be weary of these whimsies?
Whimsies? Natural philosophy a whimsy? Oh, the unlearned world.
Ridiculous learning.
Ridiculous indeed for women. Philosophy suits our sex as jackboots would do.
Custom would bring them as much in fashion as furbelows, and practice would make us as valiant as ever a hero of them all. The resolution is in the mind. Nothing can enslave that.
My stars! This girl will be mad, that's certain.
Mad? So narrow-banished philosophers from Rome, and the first discoverer of the antipodes was condemned for a heretic.
In my conscience, Alpiew, this pretty creature's spoiled. Well, cousin, might I advise you should bestow your fortune in founding a college for the study of philosophy, where none but women should be admitted, and to immortalize your name, they should be called Valerians.
What you make a jest of, I'd execute, were fortune in my power.
All men would not be excluded. The handsome enzyme, madam.
In love? Nay, there's no philosophy against love. So long for that.
Pah! No more of this trifling subject. Cousin, will you believe there's anything without gall?
I am satisfied I have one when I lose at play, or see a lady addressed when I am by, and 'tis equal to me whether the rest of the creation have or not.
Well, but I'll convince you then. I have dissected my dove, and positively I think the vulgar notion true, for I could find none.
Oh, barbarous! Killed your pretty dove?
Killed it? Why, what did you imagine I bred it up for? Can animals, insects, or reptiles be put to a nobler use than to improve our knowledge? Cousin, I'll give you this jewel for your Italian greyhound.
What, to cut to pieces? Oh, horrid! He had need be a soldier that ventures on you. For my part, I should dream of nothing but incision, dissection, and amputation, and always fancy the knife at my throat.
Enter servant.
Madam, here's Sir Richard, and
A what? Is it an accident, a substance, a material being, or a being of reason?
I don't know what you call a material being. It is a man.
Ha! A man? That's nothing.
She'll prove by and by out of Descartes that we are all machines.
Enter Sir Richard and Captain Firebrand.
Oh, madam, do you see who observes you? My lord, walking in the gallery, and every minute gives a peep.
Does he so? I'll fit him for eavesdropping.
Sir, I like the relation you have given me of your naval expedition. Your discourse speaks you a man fit for the sea.
You had it without a flourish, Sir Richard. My word is this. I hate the French. I love a handsome woman and a bowl of punch.
Very blunt.
This is my daughter, Captain, a girl of sober education. She understands nothing of gaming, parks, or plays.
Alpiew, aside.
But wanting these diversions, she has supplied the vacancy with greater follies.
A tight little frigate?
Salutes her.
Faith, I think she looks like a fresh man seasick. But here's a gallant vessel, with all her streamers out, top and top gallant. With your leave, madam.
Salutes her.
Who is that lady, Sir Richard?
'Tis a niece of mine, Captain, though I am sorry she is so. She values nothing that does not spend their days at their glass, and their nights at basset. Such who ne'er did good to their prince nor country, except their tailor, peruke maker, and perfumer.
Fie, sir, believe him not. I have a passion, an extreme passion for a hero, especially if he belongs to the sea. Methinks he has an air so fierce, so piercing, his very looks command respect from his own sex, and all the hearts of ours.
Sir Richard, aside.
The devil! Now, rather than let another female have a man to herself, she'll make the first advances.
Ay, madam, we are preferred by you fine ladies sometimes, before the sprucer sparks. There's a conveniency, isn't? A fair wind, and we hail out and leave you liberty and money, two things the most acceptable to a wife in nature.
Oh, hi! It's so pretty to have one's husband gone 9 months of the 12. And then to bring home fine china, fine lace, fine muslin, and fine Indian birds, and 1,000 curiosities.
No, 9 is a little too long. 6 would do better, for one of your constitution, mistress.
Well, madam, what think you of a cruising voyage towards the Cape of Matrimony? Your father designs me for the pilot. If you agree to it, we'll hoist sail immediately.
I agree to anything dictated by good sense, and comprehended within the borders of elocution. The converse I hold with your sex is only to improve and cultivate the notions of my mind.
Sir Richard, aside.
What the devil is she going upon now?
I presume you are a mariner, sir?
I have the honour to bear the Queen's commission, madam.
Pray speak properly, positively, laconically, and naturally.
So, she has given him a broadside already.
laconically. Why, what is your daughter, Sir Richard?
May I be reduced to wooden shoes, if I can tell you the devil. Had I lived near a college, the haunts of some pedant might have brought this curse upon me. But to have got my estate in the city, and to have a daughter run mad after philosophy, I'll never suffer it in the rage I'm in. I'll throw all the books and mathematical instruments out of the window.
I dare say, uncle, you have shook hands with philosophy, but I'm sure you have banished patience.
And you, discretion. By all my hatred for the French, they'll drive me mad. Captain, I'll expect you in the next room. And you, Mrs. Laconic, with your philosophy at your tail.
Exit.
Shan't I come too, uncle?
By Neptune, this is a kind of whimsical family. Well, madam, what are you going to say so positively and properly and so forth?
I would have asked you, sir, if ever you had the curiosity to inspect a mermaid, or if you are convinced there is a world in every star. We, by our telescopes, find seas, groves, and plains, and all that. But what they are peopled with, there's the query.
Let your next contrivance be how to get thither, and then you'll know a world in every star. She's fitter for Moorfields than matrimony. Pray, madam, are you always infected, full and change with this distemper?
How has my reason erred, to hold converse with an irrational being? Dear, dear philosophy, what immense pleasures dwell in thee!
Enter servant.
Madam, John has got the fish you sent him in search of.
Is it alive?
Yes, madam.
Your servant! Your servant! I would not lose the experiment for anything, but the tour of the New World.
Exit.
Is your ladyship troubled with these vagaries too? Is the whole house possessed?
Not I, Captain. The speculative faculty is not my talent. I am for the practice, can listen all day to hear you talk of fire, substantial fire, rear and front and line of battle. Admire a seaman, hate the French, love a bowl of punch. Oh, nothing so agreeable as your conversation, nothing so jaunty as a sea captain.
Alpiew, aside.
So, this engages him to play, if he has either manners or money.
Captain Firebrand, aside.
Aye, give me a woman who can hold me tack in her own dialect. She's mad too, I suppose, but I'll humour her a little. Oh, madam, not a fair wind, nor a rich prize, nor conquest, or my enemies can please like you. Accept my heart without capitulation. 'Tis yours, a prisoner at discretion.
Kisses her hand. Enter Lord Worthy.
Hold, sir, you must there contend with me. The victory is not so easy as you imagine.
Oh, fie, my lord. You won't fight for one you hate and despise. I may trust you with the captain.
Exit. Captain Firebrand, aside.
This must be her lover, and he is mad another way. This is the most unaccountable family I ever met with. Look ye, sir, what you mean by contending I know not, but I must tell you, I don't think any woman I have seen since I came ashore worth fighting for. The philosophical gimcrack I don't value of a cockle shell. I am too well acquainted with the danger of rocks and quicksands to steer into t'other's harbour.
Lord Worthy, aside.
He has discovered her already. Only I am blind.
But, sir, if you have a mind to a breathing here, tread upon my toe, or speak but one word in favour of the French, or against the courage of our fleet, and my sword shall start of itself to do its master and my country justice.
How ridiculous do I make myself! Pardon me, sir, you are in the right. I confess I scarce knew what I did.
I thought so. Poor gentleman, I pity him. This is the effect of love on shore. When do we hear of a tar in these fits longer than the first fresh gale? Well, I'll into Sir Richard, eat with him, drink with him. But to match into his generation, I'd as soon marry one of his daughter's mermaids.
Exit.
Was ever man so stupid as myself? But I will rouse from this lethargic dream, and seek elsewhere what is denied at home. Absence may restore my liberty.
Enter Mr. Sago.
Pray, my lord, did you see my Kiki?
Kiki? What's that?
My wife, you must know. I call her Kiki.
Not I, indeed.
Nay, pray, my lord, bean't angry. I only want to tell her what a present of fine wine is sent her just now. And what makes me laugh is no soul can tell from whence it comes.
Your wife knows, no doubt.
No more than myself, my lord. We have often wine and sweetmeats. Nay, whole pieces of silk, and the deuce take me if she could devise from whence. Nay, sometimes she has been for sending them back again, but I cried, who's a fool then?
I am sure thou art one in perfection, and to me insupportable.
Going.
My lord, I know your lordship is the privilege of this house. Pray do me the kindness if you find my wife to send her out to me.
Exit Lord Worthy.
I ne'er saw so much of this lord's humour before. He's very surly, methinks. Todd, there are some lords of my wife's acquaintance as civil and familiar with me as I am with my journeyman. Oh, here she comes.
Enter Mrs. Sago and Alpiew.
Oh, Puddy, see what my Lady Reveller has presented me withal.
Hey, Kiki, I assure you rise, as the saying is, for at home there's 4 hampers of wine sent ye.
From whence, dear Puddy?
Nay, there's the jest. Neither you nor I know. I offered the rogue that brought it a guinea to tell me from whence it came, and he swore he durst not.
Mrs. Sago, aside.
No, if he had, I'd never have employed him again.
So I gave him 50 and let him go.
It comes very opportunely. Pray, Puddy, send a couple of the hampers to my Lady Reveller's as a small acknowledgment for the rich present she has made me.
With all my heart, my jewel, my precious.
Puddy, I am strangely obliged to Mrs. Alpiew. Do, Puddy, do, dear Puddy.
What?
Mrs. Sago, hanging upon him.
Will ye then? Do, dear Puddy, do lend me a guinea to give her, do.
Sure you were always wanting guineas. I'll send her £50 of tea, Kiki.
Tea? She drinks ladies' tea. Do, dear Puddy, do. Can you deny Kiki now?
Well, there.
Gives it to her.
Mrs. Alpiew, will you please to lay the silk by for me till I send for it, and accept of that?
Your servant, madam. I'll be careful of it.
Mrs. Sago, aside to her.
Thank ye. Borrow as much as you can on it, dear Alpiew.
I'll warrant you, madam.
Exit.
I must raise a sum for Basset against night.
Prithee, Kiki, what kind of human man is Lord Worthy? I did but ask him if he saw thee, and I thought he would have snapped my nose off.
Oh, a mere woman, full of spleen and vapours. He and I never agree.
Dod, I thought so. I guessed he was none of thy admirers. Why, there's my Lord Courtly and my Lord Hornsett bowed down to the ground to me whene'er they meet me.
Enter Alpiew.
Madam, the goldsmith has sent in the plate.
Mrs. Sago, aside to her.
Very well, take it along with the silk.
Here's the jeweller, madam, with the diamond ring, but he don't seem willing to leave it without money.
I have a sudden thought. Bid him stay and bring me the ring.
Exit Alpiew.
Now for the art of wheedling.
What are you whispering about, precious?
Mrs. Alpiew says a friend of hers has a diamond ring to sell, a great pennyworth, and I know you love a bargain, Puddy.
Enter Alpiew, gives her the ring.
I'm sure I don't care for rings. It may be a bargain and it may not, and I can't spare money. I paid a lot this morning. Consider trade must go forward, lambkin.
See how it sparkles.
Nay, Puddy, if it be not worth your money, I don't desire you to buy it. But don't it become my finger, Puddy? See now.
Ah, that hand. That hand it was which first got hold of my heart. Well, what's the price of it? I am ravished to see it upon Kiki's finger.
Mrs. Sago, to Alpiew.
What did he say the price of it was?
200 guineas, madam.
60 pounds, dear Pud.
Aside.
The devil is in it if he won't give that.
60 pounds? Why, 'tis worth 100, child, richly. 'Tis stole. 'Tis stole.
Stole? I'd have you to know the owner is my relation, and has been as great a merchant as any in London, but has had the misfortune to have his ships fall into the hands of the French, or he'd not have parted with it at such a rate. It cost him 200 guineas.
I believe as much. Indeed, it is very fine.
So it is, Kiki, and that dear little finger shall have it too. Let me bite it a little tiny bit.
Bites her finger.
Oh, dear Pud, you hurt me.
Here, I haven't so much money about me, but there's a bill, lambkin. There now, you'll buzz poor Puddy now, won't you?
Buzz him?
Flies about his neck.
Yes, that I will. Again, and again. Dear Pud.
You'll go home with Puddy now to dinner, won't you?
Yes, dear Puddy, if you desire it, I will, but,
But what?
But I promised my Lady Reveller to dine with her, dearie. Do let me, Pud. I'll dine with you tomorrow day.
Nay, I am sure my lady won't eat a bit, if she don't stay.
Well, they're all so fond of my wife. My Kiki, show me thy little finger again. Oh, dear little finger. My Kiki.
Exit.
My noon, Pud.
Aside.
Here, Alpiew, give him his ring again. I have my end. Tell him 'tis too dear.
But what will you say when Mr. Sago misses it?
I'll say that it was too big for my finger, and I lost it. 'Tis but a crying bout, and the good man melts into pity. In the married state 'tis only bliss we find, an easy husband to our wishes kind. I've gained my point, replenished purse once more. Oh, cast me, fortune, on the winning shore. Now let me gain what I have lost before.
Exit. End of Act 2. Act 3 of the Basset-Table by Susanna Centlivre. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 3. The scene draws and discovers Valeria with books upon a table, a microscope, putting a fish upon it, Several animals lying by.
Ha! Thou flittering thing! So now I fixed it.
Enter Alpiew.
Madam, here's Mr. Lovely. I have introduced him as one of my lady's visitors, and brought him down the back stairs.
I'm obliged to you. He comes opportunity.
Enter Mr. Lovely.
Oh, Mr. Lovely, come here. Look through this glass and see how the blood circulates in the tail of this fish.
Wonderful. But it circulates prettier in this fair neck.
Be quiet. I'll show you a curiosity, the greatest that ever nature made.
Opens a box.
In opening a dog the other day, I found this worm.
Prodigious! 'Tis the joint worm, which the learned talk of so much.
Aye, the lumbricus latus or fascia, as Hippocrates calls it, or vulgarity in English, the tapeworm. The Dius tells us of one of these worms found in a human body, 200 feet long, without head or tail.
Mr. Lovely, aside.
I wish they be not got into thy brain. Oh, you charm me with these discoveries.
Here's another sort of worm, called Lumbricus teres intestinalis.
I think the first you showed me the greatest curiosity.
'Tis very odd, really, that there should be every inch a joint, and every joint a mouth. Oh, the profound secrets of nature.
'Tis strangely surprising. But now let me be heard, for mine's the voice of nature too. Methinks you neglect yourself, the most perfect piece of all her works.
Why, what fault do you find in me?
You have not love enough. That fire would consume and banish all studies but its own. Your eyes would sparkle, and spread I know not what, of lively and touching o'er the whole face. This hand, when pressed by him you love, would tremble to your heart.
Why, so it does. Have I not told you 20 times I love you? For I hate disguise. Your temper being adapted to mine gave my soul the first impression. You know my father's positive, but do not believe he shall force me to anything that does not love philosophy.
But that sea captain, Valeria.
If he was a whale, he might give you pain, for I should long to dissect him. But as he is a man, you have no reason to fear him.
Consent, then, to fly with me.
What, and leave my microscope, and all my things for my father to break in pieces?
Sir Richard, within.
Valeria! Valeria!
Oh, heavens! He is coming up the back stairs. What shall we do?
Can't you put me in that closet there?
Oh, no. I hand the key.
I'll run down the great stairs. Let who will see me.
Going.
Oh, no, not for your life. Here, get under this tub.
Throws out some fish in haste and turns the tub over him.
Sir, I'm here.
Enter Sir Richard.
What at your whims and whirligigs? Ye baggage, I'll out at the window with them.
Throwing away the things.
Oh, dear father, save my lumbricus lightus.
I'll lamprey and lightem you. What's that, I wonder? Ha! Where the devil got you names that your father don't understand, huh?
Treads upon them.
Oh, my poor worm. Now you have destroyed a thing that, for aught I know, England can't produce again.
What is it good for? Answer me that. What's this tub here for, huh?
Kicks it.
What shall I do now? 'Tis a... Oh, dear sir, don't touch the tub, for there's a bear's young cub that I have bought for dissection, but I dare not touch it till the keeper comes.
I'll cub you and keeper you with a vengeance to you. Is my money laid out in bear's cubs? I'll drive out your cub.
Opens the door, stands at a distance off, and with his cane lifts up the tub. Lovely rises.
Oh, the devil! Discovered! Your servant, sir.
Exit.
Oh, your servant, sir. What is this, your bear's cub? Ah, mistress, his tailor has licked him into shape, I find. What did this man do here? Hussy? I doubt you have been studying natural philosophy with a vengeance.
Indeed, sir, he only brought me a strange fish, and hearing your voice, I was afraid you would be angry, and so that made me hide him.
A fish? 'Tis the flesh I fear. I'll have you married tonight. I believe this fellow was the beggarly ensign who never marched farther than from Whitehall to the Tower, who wants your portion to make him a brigadier, without ever seeing a battle, hussy. Though your philosophical cant with a murrain to you has put the captain out of conceit, I have a husband still for you. Come along, come along. I'll send the servants to clear this room of your baubles.
Pulls her off.
I will so.
But the servants won't, old gentleman. That's my comfort still.
Exit. Re-enter Lovely.
I'm glad they are gone, for the deuce take me if I could hit the way out.
Enter Sir James.
Ah, Ensign. Luckily met. I have been labouring for you, and I hope done you a piece of service. Why, you look surprised.
Surprised? So would you, Sir James, if you had been whelmed under a tub without room to breathe.
Under a tub?
'Twas the only place of shelter.
Come, come, I have a better prospect. The captain is a very honest fellow, and thinks if you can bear with the girl, you deserve her fortune. Here's your part.
Gives a paper.
He'll give you your cue. He stays at his lodgings for you.
What's the design?
That will tell you. Quick dispatch.
Well, Sir James, I know you have a prolific brain, and will rely on your contrivances, and if it succeeds, the captain shall have a bowl of punch large enough to set his ship afloat.
Exit. Enter Lady Reveller, Lady Lucy, and Mrs. Sago.
The tea-table broke up already? I fear there has been but small recruits of scandal to-day.
Well, I swear, I think the captain's a pleasant fellow.
Sir James, aside.
That's because he made his court to her.
Ugh, I nauseate those amphibious creatures.
She was not addressed to.
He seems neither to want sense, honour, nor true courage, and methinks there is a beauty in his plain delivery.
There spoke sincerity without affectation.
How shall we pass the afternoon?
Aye, ladies, how shall we?
You here? I thought you had lifted yourself volunteer under the captain to board some prize you whispered so often and sneaked out one after another.
Who would give oneself the pains to cruise abroad, when all one values is at home?
To whom is this directed, or will you monopolize and engross us all?
No, though you would wake desire in every beholder, I resign you to my worthy friend.
And the rest of the company have no pretence to you.
Mrs. Sago, aside.
That's more than she knows.
Beauty, like yours, would give all mankind pretence.
Mrs. Sago, aside.
So, not a word to me. Are these his vows?
Lady Lucy, aside.
There's one upon the teas already.
Why, you are in disorder, my dear. You look as if you had lost a Centlivre. What have you said to her, Sir James?
I said, madam? I hope I never say anything to offend the ladies.
Aside.
The devil's in these married women. They can't conceal their own intrigues, though they swear us to secrecy.
You mistake, cousin. 'Tis his saying nothing to her has put her upon the fret.
Ha! Your observations are always malicious.
I despise them, dear Lady Reveller. Let's in to piquet. I suppose Lady Lucy would be pleased with Sir James alone to finish her remarks.
Nay, if you remove the cause, the discourse ceases.
Sir James, going up to her.
This you draw upon yourself. You will discover it.
Yes, your falsehood.
Come, my dear Sir James, will you make one at a pool?
Pardon me, madam. I am to be at White's in half an hour, anon at the Basset-Table. I'm yours.
No, no, he can't leave her.
Going, still looking back.
They play gold, Sir James.
Sir James, going up to Lady Lucy.
Madam, were your heart the stake, I'd renounce all engagements to win that, or retrieve my own.
I must like the counter-stake very well, ere I play so high.
Sir James, harkee, one word with you.
Breaking from Lady Reveller's hand, pulling Sir James by the sleeve.
Ha ha! I knew she could not stir. I'll remove your constraint, but with my wonted freedom will tell you plainly, your husband's shop would better become you than gaming and gallants. Oh, shame to virtue, that woman should copy men in their most reigning vices. Of virtue's wholesome rules unjustly we complain, when search of pleasures give us greater pain. How slightly we our reputation guard, which lost but once can never be repaired.
Farewell sentences.
Enter Alpiew. Alpiew, whispers her lady.
Madam.
So then you persuade me 'twas the care of my fame.
Nothing else, I protest, my dear little rogue. I have as much love as you, but I have more conduct.
Well, you know how soon I forgive you your faults.
Sir James, aside.
Now to what purpose have I lied myself into her good graces, when I would be glad to be rid of her?
Booted and spurred, say you. Pray, send him up, Sir James. I suppose trusty Buckle has come from some diverting embassy from your friend.
Enter Buckle in a riding dress.
Mr. Buckle, why this equipage?
Ah, madame.
Out with it!
Farewell, friends, parents, and my country. Thou dear playhouse and sweet park, farewell.
Farewell? Why, whither are you going?
My lord and I am going where they never knew deceit.
That land is invisible, Buckle. Were my lord of my mind, your ladyship should not have had so large a theme for your mirth. Your servant, ladies.
Exit.
Well, but what's your business?
My lord charged me in his name to take his everlasting leave of your ladyship.
Why, where is he going, pray?
In search of a country where there is no women.
Oh dear! Why, what have the women done to him, pray?
Done to him, madam? He says they are all proud, perfidious, vain, inconstant coquettes in England.
Oh, you'll find they are everywhere the same.
And this is the cause of his whimsical pilgrimage?
And this proceeds from your ill usage, madam. When he left your house, he flung himself into his coach with such a force that he broke all the windows. As they say. For my part, I was not there. When he came home, he beat all his servants round to be revenged.
Was you there, Buckle?
No, I thank my stars. When I arrived, the expedition was over. In haste he mounted his chamber, flung himself upon his bed, burst out into a violent passion. "Oh, that ever I should suffer myself to be imposed upon," said he, "by this coquettish beauty."
Meaning me, Buckle?
Stay till I've finished the piece, madam, and your ladyship shall judge. "She's as fickle as she's fair. She does not use more art to gain a lover," said he, "than to deceive him when he is fixed."
Leering at her.
Pleasant. And does he call this taking leave?
A comical adieu.
Oh, Madam, I've not come to the tragical part of it yet. Starting from his bed.
I thought it had been all farce. If there be anything heroic in it, I'll set my face and look grave.
My relation will require it, madam, for I am ready to weep at the repetition. Had you but seen how often he traversed the room,
Acting it.
heard how often he stamped, what distorted faces he made, casting his eyes up thus, biting his thumb thus.
You'll make an admirable actor. Shall I speak to the patentees for you?
But pray, how did this end?
At last, madam, quite spent with rage, he sunk upon his elbow, and his head fell upon his arm.
What, did he faint away?
Oh, no.
He did not die.
No, but he fell asleep.
Oh, brave Prince Prettyman!
After 3 hours' nap, he waked, and, calling hastily, "My dear Buckle," said he, "let's to the end of the world, and try to find a place where the sun shines not here and there at one time. For 'tis not fit that it should at once look upon two persons whose sentiments are so different. She no longer regards my pain, ungrateful, false, inhuman, barbarous woman."
Foolish, fond, believing, easy man. There's my answer. Come, shall we pique, my dear?
Hold, madam, I haven't half done.
Oh, pray, my Lady Reveller, let's have it out. It's very diverting.
He called to me in a feeble voice. "Buckle," said he, "bring me my little screwator, for I will write to Lady Reveller before I part from this place, never to behold her more." What, don't you cry, madam?
Cry? No, no. Go on.
'Tis done, madam. And there's the letter.
Gives her a letter.
So this completes the narration.
Reads,
Madam, since I cannot live in a place where there is a possibility of seeing you without admiring, I resolve to fly. I am going to Flanders. Since you are false, I have no business here. I need not describe the pain I feel. You are but too well acquainted with that. Therefore, I choose death rather than return. Adieu.
Can any man in the world write more tenderly, madam? Does he not say 'tis impossible to love you and go for Flanders, and that he would rather hear of your death than return?
Excellent!
What, do you laugh?
Who can forbear?
I think you ought to die with grief. I warrant heaven will punish you all.
Going.
But hark ye, Buckle, where are you going now?
To tell my lord in what manner your lady received his letter. Farewell. Now for Flanders.
A fair wind and a good voyage to you.
As Buckle goes out, enter Lord Worthy.
My lord, here! So now may I have my head broke for my long harangue, if it comes out.
Oh, miraculous! My lord! You have not finished your campaign already, have you? Or has the French made peace at hearing of your lordship's intended bravery, and left you no enemies to combat?
My worst of foes are here, within my breast. Your image, madam.
Oh dear, my lord, no more than that theme for Buckle has given us a surfeit on it already, even from your breaking of the glasses of your coach to your falling fast asleep.
The glasses of my coach? What do you mean, madam? Oh, hell.
Biting his thumbs.
Ruined quite. Madam, for heaven's sake, what does your ladyship mean? I lied in every syllable I told you, madam.
Nay, if your lordship has a mind to act it over again, we will oblige you for once. Alpiew, set chairs. Come, dear Sago, sit down and let the play begin. Buckle knows his part, and upon necessity could act yours too, my lord.
Lord Worthy, aside.
What has this dog been doing, when he was only to deliver my letter, to give her new subject for mirth? Death, methinks, I hate her. Oh, that I could hold that mind! What makes you in this equipage? Ha, sirrah!
My lord, I...
Peace, villain!
Strikes him.
Hey, this is changing the scene.
Buckle, aside.
Who the devil would rack his brains for these people of quality who like nobody's wit but their own?
If the beating were invention before, thou hast it now in reality. If wars begin, I'll retire. They may agree better alone, perhaps.
Exit.
Where did you learn this rudeness, my lord, to strike your servant before me?
When you have deprived a man of his reason, how can you blame his conduct?
Buckle, aside.
Reason? Egad, there's not 3 drams of reason between you both, as my cheek can testify.
The affront was meant to me, nor will I endure these passions. I thought I forbid your visits.
I thought I had resolved against them too.
Alpiew, aside.
But resolutions are of small force of either side.
Grant me but this one request, and I'll remove this hated object.
Upon condition 'tis the last.
It shall. I think it shall at least. Is there a happy man for whom I am despised?
I thought 'twas some ridiculous question. I'm of the Low Church, my lord, consequently hate confessors.
Buckle, aside.
And penance too, I dare swear?
In everything but play.
Dare you, the subject of my power? You, that petition love, arraigns my pleasures. Now I'm fixed, and will never see you more.
Now would anybody swear that she's in earnest?
I cannot bear that curse. See me at your feet again.
Kneels.
Oh, you have tortured me enough. Take pity now, dear tyrant, and let my sufferings end.
Lady Reveller, aside.
I must not be friends with him, for then I shall have him at my elbow all night and spoil my luck at the Basset-Table. Either cringing or correcting, always in extremes. I am weary of this fatigue. He that would gain my heart must learn the way, not to control but readily obey. For he that once pretends my faults to see, that moment makes himself all faults to me.
Exit. Buckle, aside.
There's the inside of a woman.
Gone. Now curses on me for a fool. The worst of fools. A woman's fool, whose only pleasure is to feed her pride. Fond of herself, she cares for none beside. So true coquettes their numerous charms display, and strive to conquer, purpose to betray.
End of Act 3. Act 4 of the Basset-Table by Susanna Centlivre. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 4. Enter Lord Worthy and Sir James.
Well, my lord, I have left my cards in the hand of a friend to hear what you have to say to me. Love, I'm sure, is a text. Therefore, divide and subdivide as quick as you can.
Couldst thou infuse into me thy temper, Sir James? I should have thy reason too. But I am born to love this fickle, faithless fair. What have I not essayed to raise her from my breast? But all in vain. I must have her, or I must not live.
Nay, if you are so far gone, my lord, your distemper requires an able physician. What think you of Lovely's bringing a file of musketeers and carry her away, vi et armis?
That way might give her person to my arms. But where's the heart?
A trifle in competition with her body.
The heart's the gem that I prefer.
Say you so, my lord? I'll engage 3 parts of Europe will make that exchange with you.
That maxim would hold with me, perhaps in all but her. There, I must have both or none. Therefore instruct me, friend, thou who, negligent in love, keeps always on the level with the fair. What method shall I take to sound her soul's design? For though her carriage puts me on the rack when I behold that train of fools about her, yet my heart will plead in her excuse, and calm my anger spite of all efforts.
I have a plot, my lord, if you will comply with it.
Nothing of force?
Whate'er it be, you shall be witness of it. 'Twill either quench your flame, or kindle hers. I only will appear the guilty, but here's company. I'll tell you all within.
Enter Captain Firebrand and Mr. Lovely, dressed like a tar.
I'll expect you.
Exit.
Ah, Captain, how sits the wind between you and your mistress,
North and south, faith, but here's one sails full east, and without some unexpected tornado from the old man's coast, he makes his port, I warrant ye.
I wish I were at anchor once.
Why, thou art as errant a tar as if thou hadst made an East India voyage.
Aye, am I not, Sir James? But egad, I hope the old fellow understands nothing of navigation. If he does, I shall be at a loss for the terms.
Oh, no matter for terms. Look big, and bluster for your country. Describe the Vigo business. Public news will furnish you with that. And I'll engage the success.
Aye, let me alone. I'll bear up with Sir Richard, and thou shalt board his pinnace with consent, ne'er fear. Ho, here he comes, full sail.
Enter Sir Richard.
Sir Richard, I'm glad to see you. This is my kinsman, which I told you of. As soon as he landed, I brought him to kiss your hands.
I honour you. You are welcome.
I thank you, sir. I am not for compliments. 'Tis a land language. I understand it not. Courage, honesty, and plain-dealing truth is the learning of our element. If you like that, I am for you.
Sir James, aside to Captain Firebrand.
The rogue does it to a miracle.
He's an improving spark, I find.
Like it, sir? Why, 'tis the only thing I do like. Hang compliments and court breeding. It serves only to make men a prey to one another, to encourage cowardice and ruin trade. No, sir, give me the man that dares meet death and dinner with the same appetite. One who rather than let in popery would let out his blood. To maintain such men I'd pay double custom. Nay, all my gain should go for their support.
The best well-wisher to his country of an Englishman I ever heard.
Oh, Sir Richard, I wish the nation were all of your mind. 'Twould give the soldiers and the sailors life. Captain, launch off a round lie or two.
And make us fight with heart and hand, my kinsman. I'll assure fits your principle to a hair. He hates the French so much he never fails to give them a broadside whenever he meets them, and has brought in more privateers this war than half the captains in the navy. He was the first man that boarded the French fleet at Vigo, and in Gibraltar business the gazetteer will inform you of the name of Captain Match.
Is this that Captain Match?
For want of a better, sir.
Sir, I shall be proud of being known to you.
And I, of being related to you, sir. I have a daughter, young and handsome, and I'll give her a portion shall make thee an admiral, boy. For a soul like thine is only fit to command a navy. What sayest thou? Art thou for a wife?
Sir James, aside.
So, 'tis done.
A prosperous gale, i' faith.
I don't know, Sir Richard. Mayhap a woman may not like me. I am rough and storm-like in my temper, unacquainted with the effeminacy of courts. I was born upon the sea, and since I can remember never lived 2 months on shore. If I marry, my wife must go aboard, I promise you that.
Aboard, man? Why, she shall go to the Indies with thee. Oh, such a son-in-law! How shall I be blessed in my posterity! Now do I foresee the greatness of my grandchildren. The sons of this man shall in the ages to come make France a tributary nation.
Once in an engagement, sir, as I was giving orders to my men, comes a ball and took off a fella's head, and struck it full in my teeth. I whipped it up, clapped it into a gun, and shot it at the enemy again.
Without the least concern.
Concern, sir? If it had been my own head, I would have done the like.
Prodigious effect of courage. Captain, I'll fetch my girl, and be here again in an instant. What an honour will it be to have such a son!
Exit.
Ha, 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 ha. You outdo your master.
The old knight's transported.
I wish it was over. I'm all in a sweat. Here he comes again.
Enter Sir Richard and Valeria.
I'll hear none of your excuses, Captain. Your hand. There, take her, and these gentlemen shall be witnesses, if they please, to this paper wherein I give her my whole estate when I die, and 20,000 down upon the nail. I care not whether my boy be worth a groat. Give me but grandsons, and I'm rich enough.
Generously said, i' faith. Much good may do him with her.
I'll do my endeavour, father, I promise you.
I wish you joy, Captain, and you, madam.
That's impossible. Can I have joy in a species so very different from my own? Oh, my dear Lovely, we were only formed for one another. Thy dear inquiring soul is more to me than all these useless lumps of animated clay. Duty compels my hand, but my heart is subject only to my mind. The strength of that they cannot conquer. No, with the resolution of the great unparalleled Epictetus, I here protest my will shall never assent to any but my Lovely.
You and your will may philosophize as long as you please, mistress, but your body shall be taught another doctrine. It shall so. Your mind and your soul quota. Why, what a pox has my estate to do with them, ah? 'Tis the flesh housewife that must raise heirs, and supporters of my name. And since I knew the getting of the estate, 'tis fit I should dispose of it, and therefore no more excuses. This is your husband, do you see? Take my word for it.
The outward empty form of marriage take, but all beyond I keep for Lovely's sake. Thus on the ground forever fix my eyes. All sights but Lovely shall their balls despise.
Come, Captain. My chaplain is within. He shall do the business this minute.
Aside.
If I don't use the authority of a father, this baggage will make me lose such a son-in-law that the city's wealth can't purchase me his fellow.
Thanks, dear invention, for this timely aid. The bait's gone down. He's by himself betrayed. Thus still where arts both true and honest fail, deceitful wit and policy prevail.
To death or anything, 'tis all alike to me.
Exit come Valeria.
Get you in, I say. Get you in. In my conscience my niece has spoiled her already. but I'll have her married this moment. Captain, you have bound me ever to you by this match. Command me in my house forever. But shall I not have your company, gentlemen, to be witnesses of this knot, this joyful knot?
Yes, faith, Sir Richard, I have too much respect for my kinsman to leave him till I see him safe in harbour. I'll wait on you presently.
I am engaged in the next room at play, I beg your pardon, Sir Richard, for an hour. I'll bring the whole company to congratulate the bride and bridegroom.
Bride and bridegroom, congratulate me, man. Methinks I already see my race recorded amongst the foremost heroes of my nation. Boys, all boys, and all sailors. They shall the pride of France and Spain pull down, and add their Indies to our English crown.
Exit.
Never was a man so bigoted before. How will this end when he discovers the cheat? Won't you make one with the ladies, Captain?
I don't care if I do venture a piece or two. I'll but dispatch a little business and meet you at the table, Sir James.
Enter Lady Lucy.
Ah, Lady Lucy, is your ladyship reconciled to Basset yet? Will you give me leave to lose this purse to you, madam?
I thank fortune I neither wish nor need it, Sir James. I presume the next room is furnished with avarice enough to serve you in that affair, if it is a burthen to you, or Mrs. Sago's ill luck may give you an opportunity of returning some of the obligations you lie under.
Your sex, madam, extorts a duty from ours, and a well-bred man can no more refuse his money to a lady than a sword to his friend.
That superfluity of good manners, Sir James, would do better converted into charity. This town abounds with objects. Would it not leave a more glorious fame behind you to be the founder of some pious work, when all the poor, at mention of your name, shall bless your memory, than that posterity should say you wasted your estate on cards and women?
Sir James, aside.
'Tis pity she were not a man, she preaches so emphatically. Faith, madam, you have a very good notion, but something too early. When I am old, I may put your principles in practice, but youth for pleasure was designed.
The truest pleasure must consist in doing good, which cannot be in gaming.
Everything is good in its kind, madam. Cards are harmless bits of paper, dice insipid bones, and women made for men.
Right, Sir James, but all these things may be perverted. Cards are harmless bits of paper in themselves, yet through them what mischiefs have been done, what orphans wronged, what tradesmen ruined, what coaches and equipage dismissed for them.
But then, how many fine coaches and equipages have they set up, madam?
Is it more honourable for that? How many misses keep coaches too? Which arrogance, in my opinion, only makes them more eminently scandalous.
Oh, those are such as have a mind to be damned in this state, madam. But I hope your ladyship doesn't rank them amongst us gamesters.
They are inseparable, Sir James. Madam's grandeur must be upheld, though the baker and butcher shut up shop.
Oh, your ladyship wrongs us middling gentlemen there. To ruin tradesmen is the quality's prerogative only, and none beneath a lord can pretend to do it with an honourable air.
Their example sways the meaner sort. I grieve to think that fortune should exalt such vain, such vicious souls, whilst virtue's clothed in rags.
Ah, faith, She'd make but a scurvy figure at court, madam. The statesmen and politicians would suppress her quickly. But whilst she remains in your breast, she's safe, and makes us all in love with that fair covering.
Oh, fie, Sir James, you could not love one that hates your chief diversion.
I should hate it too, madam, on some terms that I could name.
What would make that conversion, pray?
Your heart.
Lady Lucy, aside.
I could pay that price, but dare not venture upon one so wild. First, let me see the fruit, ere I take a lease of the garden, Sir James.
Oh, madam, the best way is to secure the ground, and then you may manure and cultivate it as you please.
That's a certain trouble and uncertain profit, and in this affair I prefer the theory before the practice. But I detain you from the table, Sir James. You are wanted to tally. Your servant.
Exit.
Nay, if you leave me, madam, the devil will tempt me. She's gone, and now can't I shake off the thought of 7 wins, 8 loses. For the blood of me, and all this grave advice of hers is lost. Faith, though I do love her above the rest of her sex, she's an exact model with what all women ought to be. And yet your merry little coquettish tits are very diverting. Well, now for Basset. Let me see, what money have I about me? About 100 guineas, half of which will set the ladies to cheating. False parolees in abundance. Each trifling toy would tempt in times of old. Now nothing melts a woman's heart like gold. Some bargains drive, some more nice than they, who'd have you think they scorn to kiss for pay. To purchase them you must lose deep at play. With several women, several ways prevail, but gold's a certain way that cannot fail.
Exit. The scene draws, and discovers Lady Reveller, Mrs. Sago, and several gentlemen and ladies around a table at Basset. Enter Sir James.
Oh, Sir James, are you come? We want you to tally for us.
What luck, ladies?
I have only one a sept and lever.
And I have lost a tond and lever. My ill fortune has not forsook me yet, I see.
I go a guinea upon that card.
You lose that card.
I mass Sir James's card double.
7 wins and 5 loses. You have lost it, madam.
Again? Sure never was woman so unlucky.
Knave wins and 10 loses. You have won, Sir James.
Clean cards here.
Burn this book. 'Tas an unlucky air.
Tears them.
Bring some more books.
Enter Captain Firebrand.
Oh, Captain! Here, set a chair. Come, Captain. You shall sit by me.
Aside.
Now, if we can but strip this tar.
With all my heart, madam. Come, what do you play? Gold? That's something high, though. Well, a guinea upon this honest knave of clubs.
You lose it for a guinea more.
Done, madam.
The 5 wins and the knave loses.
You have lost it, Captain.
The knave wins for 2 guineas more, madam.
Done, Sir James.
6 wins, knave loses.
Oh, the devil I've faced. I had rather have lost all.
9 wins, queen loses. You have won.
I'll make a parolee. I mass as much more. Your card loses, Sir James, for 2 guineas. Yours, Captain, loses for a guinea more.
4 wins, 9 loses. You have lost, madame.
Oh, I could tear my flesh as I tear these cards. Confusion! I can never win above a wretched paralee, for if I push to set and lever, 'tis gone.
Walks about disorderly.
Ace wins, knave loses.
Sink the knave. I'll set no more on't.
Fact again. What's the meaning of this ill luck tonight? Bring me a book of hearts. I'll try if they are more successful, that on the queen. Yours and your card loses.
Bring me a fresh book. Bring me another book. Bring me all diamonds.
Looks upon them one by one, then throws them over her shoulders. Lady Reveller, aside.
That can never be lucky. The name of jewels don't become a citizen's wife.
King wins, the tray loses.
You have great luck tonight, Mr. Sharper.
So I have, Sir James. I have won Seneca every time.
Lady Reveller, aside.
But if he has got the knack of winning thus, he shall sharp no more here, I promise him.
I mass that.
Sir James, pray you tally.
With all my heart, madam.
Takes the cards and shuffles them.
Pray give me the cards, sir.
Takes them and shuffles them and gives them to him again.
I set that.
I set 5 guineas upon this card, Sir James.
Done, madam. 5 wins, 6 loses.
I set that.
5 don't go, and 7 loses.
I mass double.
I'll mass that.
3 wins, 6 loses.
I mass double, and that. Oh, you malicious stars, again.
8 wins, 7 loses.
So this Trent and Lever make some amends. Adspud, I hate cheating. What's that false cock made for now? Ha, madam?
Nay, Mrs. Sago, if you begin to play foul...
Rude brute to take notice of the sleight of hand in our sex. I protest, he wrongs me, madam. There's the denier stake, and I'll set it all. Now fortune favour me, or this moment is my last.
There's the last of £50. What's the meaning of this?
Now for my plot. Her stock is low, I perceive.
Slips a purse of gold into the furbelows of Lady Reveller's apron.
I never had such ill luck. I must fetch more money.
Discovers a purse in the furbelows of her apron.
Huh? From whence came this? This is the genteelest piece of gallantry. The action is Sir Harry's. I see by his eyes.
9 wins, 6 loses.
I'm ruined and undone forever. Oh, 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 to lose every card. Oh.
So there's one vessel sprung a leak, and I am almost ashore. If I go on at this rate, I shall make but a lame voyage on't, I doubt.
Deuce wins, king loses.
I mass again. I mass double. I mass again. Now the devil blow my head off if ever I saw cards run so, damn 'em.
Tears the cards and stamps on 'em.
Fie, Captain, this concern among the ladies is indecent.
Damn the ladies! Mayn't I swear, or tear my cards if I please? I'm sure I have paid for them. Pray count the cards. I believe there's a false tally.
Sir James counts 'em.
No, they are right, sir.
Not to turn one card. Oh.
Stamps up and down.
Madam, if you play no longer, pray don't disturb those that do. Come, courage, Captain. Sir James Gold was very lucky.
Aside.
Who could endure these men? Did they not lose their money?
Bring another book here. That upon 10, and I mass that.
Puts down a card and turns another.
King fact, 8 wins, 10 loses.
Fire and gunpowder!
Exit.
What, is the captain vanished in his own smoke? Come, I bet it will be you, Mr. Sharper. Your card loses.
Re-enter Captain Firebrand, pulling in a stranger, which he had fetched out of the street.
Sir, do you think it possible to lose a trumped and liver, a quinze liver, and a set liver, and never turn once?
No, sir, 'tis impossible.
Ounds you lie, I did, sir.
Laying his hand on his sword. All the women shriek and run off.
What the devil had I to do among these land rats? Zounds, to lose £40 for nothing, not so much as a wench for it. Ladies, quotha, a man had as good be acquainted with pickpockets.
Exit.
The captain has frightened the women out of their wits. Now, to keep my promise with my lord, though the thing has but an ill face, no matter. They join together to enslave us men, and why not we to conquer them again?
End of Act 4. Act 5 of the Basset-Table by Susanna Centlivre. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 5. Enter Sir James on one side and Lady Reveller on the other.
Sir James, what have you done with that rude porpoise?
He has gone to your uncle's apartment, madam, I suppose. I was in pain till I knew how your ladyship did after your fright.
Really, Sir James, the fellow has put me into the spleen by his ill manners. Oh, my stars, that there should be such an unpolished piece of humanity to be put in that disorder for losing his money to us women. I was apprehensive he would have beat me.
Your ladyship must impute his ill-breeding to the want of conversation with your sex. But he is a man of honour with his own, I assure you.
I hate out-of-fashioned honour. But where's the company, Sir James? Shan't we play again?
All dispersed, madam.
Come, you and I will go to piquet then.
Oh, I'm tired with cards, madam. Can't you think of some other diversion to pass a cheerful hour? I could tell you one, if you'd give me leave.
Of your own invention? Then it must be a pleasant one.
Oh, the pleasantest one in the world.
What is it, I pray?
Love, love, my dear charmer.
Approaches her.
Oh, Cupid! How came that in your head?
Nay, 'tis in my heart. And except you pity me, the wound is mortal.
Oh, is Sir James got into Lord Worthy's class? You that could tell me I should not have such a large theme for my diversion. Were you to take his place? What? And is the gay, the airy, the witty, inconstant Sir James overtaken?
Very true, madam. You see there is no jesting with fire. Will you be so kind?
Gets between her and the door.
Kind? What a dismal sound was there. I'm afraid your fever's high, Sir James.
If you think so, madam, 'tis time to apply cooling medicines.
Locks the door.
Ha! What insolence is this? The door locked? What do you mean, Sir James?
Oh, 'tis something indecent to name it, madam, but I intend to show you.
Lays hold on her.
Unhand me, villain, or I'll cry out.
Do, and make yourself the jest of servants. Expose your reputation to their vile tongues, which, if you please, shall remain safe within my breast. But if with your own noise you blast it, here I bid defiance to all honour and secrecy, and the first man that enters dies.
Struggles with her.
What shall I do? Instruct me, heaven! Monster! Is this your friendship to my lord? And can you wrong the woman he adores?
Aye, but the woman does not care a souse for him, and therefore he has no right above me. I love you as much, and will possess.
Oh, hold! Kill me rather than destroy my honour. What devil has debauched your temper? Oh, how has my carriage drawn this curse upon me? What have I done to give you this cause to think you ever should succeed this hated way?
Why this question, madam? Can a lady that loves play so passionately as you do, that takes as much pains to draw men in to lose their money as a town miss to their destruction, that caresses all sorts of people for your interest, that divides your time between your toilette and basset-table? Can you, I say, boast of innate virtue? Fie, fie! I am sure you must have guessed for what I played so deep. We never part with our money without design, or writing fool upon our foreheads. Therefore, no more of this resistance, except you would have more money.
Horrid!
There was 50 guineas in that purse, madam. Here's 50 more. Money shall be no dispute.
Offers her money. Lady Reveller strikes it down.
Perish your money with yourself, you villain! There! Take your boasted favours, which I resolved before to have paid in specie. Basest of men, I'll have your life for this affront. Ho! Within there!
Hush, Faith, you'll raise the house.
Lays hold on her.
And 'tis in vain. You're mine, nor will I quit this room till I'm possessed.
Struggles.
Raise the house! I'll raise the world in my defence! Help! Murther! A rape!
Enter Lord Worthy from another room with his sword drawn.
Ha! Villain, unhand the lady, or this moment is thy last.
Villain, back, my lord. Follow me.
Exit.
By the bright sun that shines, you shall not go. No, you've saved my virtue, and I will preserve your life. Let the vile wretch be punished by viler hands. Yours shall not be profaned with blood so base, if I have any power.
Shall the traitor live? Though your barbarous usage does not merit this from me, yet in consideration that I loved you once, I will chastise his insolence.
Once? Oh, say not once. Do you not love me still? Oh, how pure your soul appears to me above that detested wretch.
Sir James, peeping.
It takes as I could wish.
Yet how have I been slighted? Every fop preferred to me. Now you discover what inconveniency your gaming has brought you into? This from me would have been unpardonable advice. Now you have proved it at your own expense.
I have, and hate myself for all my folly. Oh, forgive me, and if still you think me worthy of your heart, I here return you mine, and will this hour sign it with my hand.
How I applaud myself for this contrivance.
Oh, the transporting joy! It is the only happiness I covet here. Haste then, my charmer, haste the longed-for bliss. The happiest minute of my life is this.
Exit.
How am I censured now for doing this lady a piece of service, enforcing that upon her, which only her vanity and pride restrained. So blushing maids refuse the courted joy, though wishing eyes and pressing hands comply, till by some stratagem the lover gains what she denied to all his amorous pains.
As Sir James is going off, enter Lady Lucy meeting him.
Ah, Lady Lucy! Having succeeded from my friend, Who knows but this may be my lucky minute too? Madam, you come opportunely to hear.
Takes her by the hand.
Stand off, basest of men. I have heard too much. Couldst thou choose no house but this to act thy villainies in? And couldst thou offer vows to me when thy heart, poisoned with vicious thoughts, harboured this design against my family?
Very fine. Faith, this is like to be my lucky minute with a witness. But, madam—
Offer no excuse. 'Tis height of impudence to look me in the face.
Sir James, aside.
Egad, she loves me. Ah, happy rogue! This concern can proceed from nothing else.
My heart, till now unused to passion, swells with this affront. Would reproach thee, would reproach myself for having harboured one favourable thought of thee.
Why did you, madam? Egad, I owe more to her anger than ever I did to her morals.
Ha! What have I said?
The only kind word you ever uttered.
Yes, impostor. Know to thy confusion that I did love thee, and fancied I discovered some seeds of virtue amongst that heap of wickedness. But this last action has betrayed the fond mistake, and showed thou art all o'er fiend.
Give me leave, madam.
Think not this confession meant to advance thy impious love, but hear my final resolution.
Egad, I must hear it, I find, for there's no stopping her.
From this moment I'll never—
Sir James, clapping his hand before her mouth.
Nay, nay, nay. After sentence no criminal is allowed to plead. Therefore I will be heard. Not guilty, madam, if I don't prove that this is all a stratagem, contrived, studied, designed, persecuted, and put in execution to reclaim your cousin, and give my lord possession, may you finish your curse, and I be doomed to everlasting absence. Egad, I'm out of breath.
Oh, couldst thou prove this?
I can. If by the proof you'll make me happy, my lord shall convince you.
To him I will refer it. On this truth your hopes depend. In vain we strive our passions to conceal. Our very passions do our loves reveal. When once the heart yields to the tyrant's sway, the eyes our tongue will soon the flame betray.
Exit.
I was never out at a critical minute in my life.
Enter Mr. Sago and 2 bailiffs meeting Alpiew.
Harkee, mistress, is my wife here?
Truly I shan't give myself the trouble of seeking her for him, now she has lost all her money. Your wife is a very indiscreet person, sir.
I'm afraid I shall find it so to my cost.
Come, sir. We can't wait all day. The actions are £1,000. You shall have time to send for bail, and what friends you please.
£1,000?
Enter Mrs. Sago.
Oh, lambkin, have you spent me £1,000?
Who, I, Pod? Oh, undone forever.
Pud me no pud. Do you owe Mr. Taby the mercer £200, huh?
I don't know the sum, dear Pud, but I do owe him something. But I believe he made me pay too dear.
Oh, thou wolfkin instead of lambkin, for thou hast devoured my substance. And dost thou owe Mr. Dollar the goldsmith £300? Dost thou? Huh? Speak, tigress.
Sure it can't be quite £300.
Thou island crocodile, thou. And dost thou owe Ratsbane the vintner £100? And were those hampers of wine which I received so joyfully sent by thyself to thyself, huh?
Yes, indeed, Buddy. I beg your pardon.
And why didst thou not tell me of them, thou rattlesnake? For they say they have sent 100 times for their money, else I had not been arrested in my shop.
Because I was afraid, dear Puddy.
But wert thou not afraid to ruin me, though, dear Pud? Ah, I need ask thee no more questions, thou serpent in petticoats. Did I dote upon thee for this? Here's a bill from Calico the linen draper, another from Setwell the jeweller, from Coupler a mantua maker, and Pimpwell the milliner, a tribe of locusts enough to undo a Lord Mayor.
I hope not. Truly, dearie, I'm sure that's all.
All with a pox. No, Mrs. Jezebel, that's not all. There's £200 due to myself for tea, coffee, and chocolate, which my journeyman has confessed since your roguery came out. That you have embezzled, hussy, you have. So this comes of your keeping quality company. E'en let them keep you now, for I have done with you. You shall come no more within my doors, I promise you.
Oh, kill me rather. I never did it with design to part with you, indeed, Puddy.
No, I believe not, whilst I was worth a groat. Oh.
Enter Sir James.
How? Mrs. Sago in tears, and my honest friend in ruffian's hands? The meaning of this?
Oh, Sir James, my hypocritical wife is as much a wife as any wife in the city. I'm arrested here in an action of £1,000 that she has taken up goods for and gamed away. Get out of my sight, get out of my sight, I say.
Indeed and indeed. Oh, dear Puddy, but I cannot. No, here I will hang forever on this neck.
Flies about his neck.
Help! Murder! Murder! Why, what will you collar me?
Right, woman. I must try to make up this breach. Oh, Mr. Sago, you are unkind. 'Tis pure love that thus transports your wife, and not such base designs as you complain of.
Yes, and she run me in debt out of pure love too, no doubt.
So it was, Pud.
What was it, mistress, out of love to me that you have undone me? Thou, I don't know what to call thee bad enough.
You won't hear your Kiki out, dear Pud. It was not out of love for play, but for love to you, dear Pud. If you'll forgive me, I'll never play again.
Nay, now, sir, you must forgive her.
What? Forgive her that would send me to jail?
No, there's no danger of that. I'll bail you, Mr. Sago, and try to compound those debts. You know me, officers.
Very well, Sir James. Your worship's word is sufficient.
There's your fees, then. Leave here your prisoner. I'll see him forthcoming.
With all our hearts, your servant, sir.
Exit.
Ah, thou wicked woman! How have I doted on those eyes! How often have I kneeled to kiss that hand! Is this not true, Kiki?
Yes, dearie, I do confess it.
Did I ever refuse to grant whatever thou asked me?
No, never, Pud.
Mightst not thou have eaten gold, as the saying is, Oh, Kiki, Kiki!
Leave crying, and wheedle him, madam, wheedle him.
I do confess it. And can't you forgive your Kiki, then, that you have been so tender of, that you so often confessed your heart has jumped up to your mouth when you have heard my beauty praised?
So it is, as I profess, Sir James. I begin to melt. I do. I am a good-natured fool, that's the truth on't. But if I should forgive you, what would you do to make me amends? For that fair face, if I turn you out of doors, will quickly be a cheaper drug than any in my shop.
And not maintain her half so well?
To Mrs. Sago.
Promise largely, madam.
I love you forever, dearie.
But you'll jig to Covent-Garden again.
No, indeed. I won't come within the air on it, but take up with city acquaintance, rail at the court, and go twice a week with Mrs. Outside to Pinmaker's Hall.
That would rejoice my heart.
Ready to weep.
See, if the good man is not ready to weep, your last promise has conquered. Come, come, buss and be friends and end the matter.
Aside.
I'm glad the quarrel is made up, or I had had her upon my hands.
Pud, don't you hear Sir James, Pud?
I can hold no longer. Yes, I do hear him. Come then to the arms of thy known Pud.
Run into one another's arms.
Now, all's well, and for your comfort, Lady Reveller is by this time married to my Lord Worthy, and there will be no more gaming, I assure you, in that house.
Joys upon joys! Now if these debts were but accommodated, I should be happier than ever. I should indeed, Kiki.
Leave that to me, Mr. Sago. I have won part of your wife's money, and will that way restore it to you.
I thank you, good Sir James. I believe you are the first gamester that ever refunded.
Generously done. Fortune has brought me off this time, and I'll never trust her more.
But see, the bride and bridegroom.
Enter Lord Worthy and Lady Reveller, Lady Lucy, Buckle, and Alpiew.
This match which I have now been witness to is what I long have wished. Your course of life must of necessity be changed.
Ha! Sir James here. Ah, if you love me, my lord, let us avoid this brute. You must not meet him.
Oh, there's no danger, madam. My lord, I wish you joy with all my heart. We only quarrelled to make you friends, madam.
What? Am I tricked into marriage, then?
Not against your will, I hope.
No, I forgive you, though had I been aware of it, it should have cost you a little more pains.
I wish I could return thy plot, and make this lady thine, Sir James.
Then I should be paid with interest, my lord.
My fault is consideration, you know. I must think a little longer on't.
And my whole study shall be to improve those thoughts to my own advantage.
I wish your ladyship joy, and hope I shall keep my Kiki to myself now.
With all my heart, Mr. Sago. She has had ill luck of late, which I am sorry for.
My Lord Worthy will confine your ladyship from play as well as I, and my injunction will be more easy when I have your example.
Nay, 'tis time to throw up the cards when the game's out.
Enter Sir Richard, Captain Firebrand, Mr. Lovely, and Valeria.
Well, Sir James, the danger's over. We have doubled the Cape, and my kinsman is sailing directly to the port.
A bon voyage.
'Tis done, and my heart is at ease. Did you ever see such a perverse baggage? Look in his face, I say, and thank your stars, for their blessed influences gave you this husband.
Will not Valeria look upon me? She used to be more kind when we have fished for eels in vinegar.
My lovely, is it thee? And has natural sympathy forborne to inform my sense thus long?
Flies to him.
How, this lovely? What does it prove, the ensign I have so carefully avoided?
Yes, sir, the same. I hope you may be brought to like a land soldier as well as a seaman.
And, Captain, have you done this?
Yes, faith. She was too whimsical for our element. Her hard words might have conjured up a storm for aught I know. So I have set her ashore.
What? My uncle deceived with his stock of wisdom?
Here's such a coupling, Miss Alpiew. Hadn't you a month's mind?
Not to you, I assure you.
I was but in jest, child. Say nay when you're asked.
The principal part of this plot was mine, Sir Richard.
Sir Richard, aside.
Would 'twas in my power to hang you for it.
And I have no reason to doubt you should repent it. He is a gentleman, though a younger brother. He loves your daughter, and she him, which has the best face of happiness in a married state. You like a man of honour, and he has as much as any one. That I assure you, Sir Richard.
Well, since what's past is past, recall I had as good be satisfied as not. Therefore take her, and bless ye together.
So now each man's wish is crowned, but mine with double joy.
Well said, Sir Richard. Let's have a bowl of punch, and drink to the bridegroom's good voyage tonight. Steady, steady.
I'll take a glass with you, Captain. I reckon myself a bridegroom, too.
Buckle, aside.
I doubt Kiki won't find him such.
Well, poor Kiki's bound to good behaviour, or she has quite lost her Puddy's favour. Shall I for this repine at fortune? No, I'm glad at heart that I'm forgiven so. Some neighbours' wives have but too lately shown, when spouse had left them, all their friends were flown. Then all you wives that would avoid my fate, remain contented with your present state.
End of Act 5. The Epilogue.
This goodly fabric, to a gazing tar, seems fore and aft a three-decked man of war. Abaft the holds the pit, from thence look up aloft. That's Swabber's nest, that's the maintop. Side boxes manned with bow and modish rake are like the forecastle and quarter-deck. Those dark disguised, adventurous, black-nosed few may pass for gunners or a fireship's crew. Some come like privateers, a prize to seize, and catch the French within the narrow seas. The orange ladies, virgins of renown, are powder monkeys running up and down. We've here our calms, our storms, and prosperous gales. O'er shift our scenes as seamen shift their sails. The ship's well manned, and not ill-womaned neither. So ballasted and stowed, my lads, she'll bear the weather. But greater dangers venturing players alarm. This night's engagement's worse than any storm. The poet's captain, but half dead with fright, she leaves her officers to maintain the fight. Yond middle tier, with 18-pounders, maul us. That upper deck with great and small shot gall us. But from this lower tier most harm befalls. There's no opposing their prevailing balls. At either foe or friend their chain-shot flies. We sink or swim, we conquer, fall or rise. To fit and rig our ships much pains we take. Grant we may now a saving voyage make. Here we're embarked, and as you smile or frown, you are our stars. By you we live or drown.
End of the Basset-Table by Susanna Centlivre.